Hello, Anshika. Hello. Hello, Anshika, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I'm good, sir.
Very good evening. So I think we are live right now. Let me just confirm.
Give me 1 minute. I'm just connecting my device.
Hello, Anshika. Hello.
You know if my voice is audible.
Yes, yes, your voice is audible. I think, yeah, I think we are able to see you right now. I assume. Yes, yes, it is. It is. Please continue, Anshika. I'll probably intimate to every other students now.
Should I start?
Yes, yes, please start. I'll intimate to all the students.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, how are you doing? I hope everyone is being good and safe at all your places. So here is Anshika Gupta. I'm ICT advocate in S-Trends. Uh, I am full stack web developer. Then I am a machine learning enthusiast in data analysis. I'm ex-chapter lead of Girls Group Pathankot and now the regional head of Girls Group Punjab. I had been interned in more than 20 plus companies and I'm the blog writer of not more than 120 plus of blogs still now. Further, today we're going to study about what are data types in Python. So moving forward to what are data types in Python, I'll let you know what we're going to study about today. So today we will be learning about some basic concepts that are being numerics, strings, Boolean, and they are being built in data types in Python. Before going to that, I would like to get you towards what the information about data type is and how we're gonna generate the data types with different technologies and programs. So moving forward, in Python, Python is a vast language, the programming language. We all know how Python has been working as a basic block and being generating as in sequential blocks in today modern era. Okay, so Python was introduced by Guido van Rossum, and till now we have been learning Python as a module, as in packages, as in data types, as in operators, and many more for discussions of the numerics, then strings, and then booleans. And there have been more of that intimations in that. So there are built-in and there are non-built-in. Moving forward to what are variables in Python. So variables are actually used to store the value or store the value in some memory locations. Okay, to store the value by given a specific memory location. Suppose you are being living in a room and your room is just your room is your memory space, and after that what you are being living in is your particularly the value you have in that room. Okay, so what variable actually means, just to remember that it is a memory location to store the values in that. Obviously, when you've been living in a house, all the members of your family are living in that house. Okay, your house is an memory location where you are being like, and the value stored in that is your family members. Okay, here what you will be doing is you are being storing some value, and you are being giving that value and actually a name, and actually what type of alphabet you want to give, whether it's an alphabetic singularly, then it's a doubly, then it's a triple, or there is capital or small. Okay, here you can give your variables a particular name in that particular type. Okay, and each of your value, whatever the value you're going to store in your memory location, each and every value has its own data type. Okay, so data type, it's just a value just stored in that. Okay, nothing else. So what are in further discussions, that is like standard data types, and like how to assign that value in a particular form in that. Okay, so like when we are starting the standard data type, we used to know about it is used to define some operations. Okay, it is just defined to storage method. You suppose there are being in Python, we have a storage method in that. We need to get that in the globally, locally, or public. Okay, now it depends upon you, like how you are being storing that value in what terms. Okay, like suppose you are being storing that value in any of the memory location according to your choice. Okay, in Python, now coming forward, in Python we have 5 standard data types. Just to remember, the hand, we have 4 fingers and 1 thumb. Okay, just like that, it's a data type. It's what the Python has been collaborating with, and being judged out to be Python is supposed to be. It's just for the data types and functions in that. For the data types, we have hand, that is storing 4 of our fingers and 1 of our thumb. Just to remember what data types we have: number, string, list, tuple, and dictionary. Okay, these are the 5 standard data types we generally use. We're going to study in the upcoming slides what numbers are, what like strings are, then list, tuples, and dictionaries. So moving forward to that, like how to assign a value to a variable. Uh, while assigning some of the values to the variable, we always used to apply some is equals to sign. It is mandatory to apply is equals to sign to assign some value to a variable that is being globalized, that is being declared, that is then it is being assigned a value to variable. Okay, and this is equal to operator. It is an operator which is being used to the left operator, to the operator named as a variable. Okay, to the left, to the right. So suppose your value is being stored in your left operator, and you want to know what is the value of your right operator. So right operand and the left operand both are being categorized as a storing value in which operand it has. Okay, now how we used to give the variable name. For giving the variable name, always remember, one should, like you can note down also, always remember we have to use a short name. Like we can use, like suppose var is equals to x, var is equals to y. Okay, or any of the short name. Like don't go for such a long name, because it will automatically giving you a problem while remembering that names when you'll be writing a programs in that. So there are four rules for Python variable. First, your variable must always start with underscore character or with a letter. Okay, second, your variable cannot start with a number. Like suppose I am giving a variable a name as my car. Okay, and I wouldn't be writing there 1, 2, 3 car. Okay, it shouldn't be started with the numbers actually. Moving forward, like what variable or what, like how variable can be declared with the alphanumeric. Alphanumeric means like alphabets and numerical value. Okay, or we can use underscores in that. For variable names, we can use as case sensitive, but these actually have the three types of variable, that in the smallest, in the small, in the like capitalized in the starting, and third is fully capitalized. Okay, this is how the rules of the Python has been declared to write a variable. Now, moving forward to that, we learned about what are 5 standard data type, that were numbers, string, list, tuples, and dictionaries. Again, now in numbers, like how the classification has been done in the numerical types. In numeric types, we have 3 classifications, that is int, float, sorry, then it was complex. Okay, 3 types of numeric types in Python are. And what variable used to do in the numeric type, that are always created to assign a value to something we declared as locally or globally. Okay, even when you get the input of a section, or when you get the output of the section, that has always been defined as when you've been declaring it. Without declaring variable, it won't be executing at all. So just remember, like, first of all, you want to be using like your letter must start from letter, your variable should start from letter or underscore. Second, your variable cannot start with a number. Third, your variable has an alphanumeric characters or underscore. Fourth, your variable should always be case sensitive. Okay, now here's a categorization of the data types, how data types are being classified. It is a very good flow chart how data types are being classified. So data types have been classified into 4 terms. Okay, that is number, sequences, sets, and mark. Under number, we have further 4 classification, sub classification, that is int, float. Then again, in the float, it is double float. Okay, and there is complex. In sequence, we have list, string, tuple. Then again, we have sets. Sets is another thing we will be learning in that data type only. Now, again, it's a map, how to do mapping in that, or how to create a mapping in that. So under it, it is the dictionaries operations. Now, moving forward, what are built-in data types and how we learned about the built-in data types, that is int, float, complex in that. Now, what int, float, complex is mean to be? Now, in variable, we learned about it can store the variables, the value in the particular different globalization or the declaration, and the different types of the memory allocations are being provided to the variable. But these all are being done according to the number allocations. Like it is int, it is float, it is like complex, any of that. Okay, now how these of the number types are being declared. So assigning some value to the Python is always been configured out with deterministizations. Okay, now what is int in that? First of all, I'll explain you the code of what variables are being generated and how we're going to give a value to that. Okay, so giving the value to that, just writing like x is equals to 1, then let's print the variable of x. Okay, now what we declared, x is equals to 1, let's write print x. Okay, now the value has been stored in that x. Now the x will execute with according to the memory allocations to that. Okay, each of the variable is being satisfied with different allocations. Suppose now what int means is, so in int or we can go with integer also, it is a whole number. Okay, in int we have a whole number, or in int we have positive, negative, or any of the variable we're gonna start with. Okay, so it's unlimited in method, like we cannot judge out how lengthy it can be. So always the int is without decimals. Okay, we cannot judge out that it is the decimal allocations. It is always been given to the decimals. In int, we don't have any decimals point. We can have positive, we can have negative, we can have the whole number, and up to the unlimited length. Okay, now moving forward to what is float. Now, float means like it is a number. with the floating number. That is, it includes the particularly some of the points in that, and that also varies to the containing one or more number of decimals. Okay, now for pointing or for getting the what type of this variable is, or what type of variable can be, we used to write out this program to get an input. Suppose I need the value of int. Okay, I'll be writing in this x is equals to 1, print the type of x. Okay, now for printing the type of x, it will be given to me that the class is int. Got my point? Now again, if I increase the length of my integer number, this is 3, 5, 6, 5, 6, 2, 2, 2, 2, 5, 5, 4, 8, 8, 7, 7, 1, 1. Okay, this is the unlimited length we can also be using in that. And then again of the y, it will be shown to me that this classes are int. Okay, now of y section, in y I put a negative number in that. Okay, again if I ask the like computer only or the editor, what is the type of my z? So in z, it will be saying again that it has the int. You can see in int we use the whole number, the unlimited length, the negative length, the negative number, and everything. And there is no the point section. Okay, that how integer depends upon the data types. Now coming forward to the float, I told you like in this we have unlimited like uncounted decimal points in that, the decimal length in that. Okay, suppose I wrote again a method like x is equals to 1.10. Okay, and I ask the type of my x, it will say me the type of my x is float. Again, if I just state remain to only one's place of my integer and I applied only one extension, it again will be showing to me the float. If again I said like z is equals to the negative part minus 35.59, it again shown me that it is the float criteria. This how we can judge out what is the type of variable or what is the type of the input we have given. In the complex number, we already that in the complex number we have two things, that is real part and that is imaginary part. Okay, in real part we can obtain the value. Okay, we can get that value accordingly what we need upon. Okay, and it is helpful too. The real value is always being helpful, but in imaginary part, that is like imaginary means like it is there or it is not. Okay, that how it is being judged out to the imagine. So imaginary is always being written by the y j alphabet. Okay, now suppose I write an program that x is equals to 3 plus 5j. 3 is my real value and 5j is my imaginary value. Again, if I ask my that editor like what is the type of this, so it will be saying the class complex. When I say like 5j, it again will be saying it because j is there, it's an imaginary part. So again it will be saying to me the complex. Again if I ask like minus 5j, again negative, so it will be saying me the complex. Okay, that how it is. Now further comes to the none type. There are a lot of types we used to get from Python in the data types, because it is a vast explanation of the data type and it is being generated furtherly also. So in none type, none means nothing or it's a null. In none type, it means like we doesn't have any value or the value is not containing in that parenthesis. Okay, so we know in Java, in the null value, we can the none object. But in Python, we call this a none object also and none type also. Okay, if the none type or the none value has been there, we know it doesn't have any of the value in that. Okay, but if no value is being passed, then the default value will taken as null value. Suppose in my parenthesis, I'm just passing that brackets only parenthesis or just in living alone in that. But it for us there is no value. For editor, it will say that value will be executed in a none type. Okay, for the Boolean expression, just remember that the Boolean expression is the none for the data type, that is false. For like if it's having any value, the true and false. For the true, we always remember that it is the one value. Or in the Boolean expression, true is for one and false is for zero. Okay. And for the none type, if the object has any value or doesn't have any value, it is represented as none only. Next, numeric. I am told you like what is numeric, int, float, and then it is complex. For the int type, just remember like it is just an integer number or just a fractional part, or the decimal part is not been included in int data type. And in int, we have a negative as well as a positive integer number also. Furtherly, we can extend up to largely, like if we want to get to the 28th, 30th, at most unlimited part we can go through. Now comes as a float. For float, we can represent as a decimal up to like what level we want to decimal to be extended or not, that depends. Negative and positive value is there, and we can just print the values up to ones or seconds in limited points of at least one of the pointers should be there. Complex and the Boolean both are being like opposite to each other. In the complex, we have two values, that is real and imaginary. In Boolean, we also have the two outputs and two outputs to be presented, that is true and false. True means 1, false means 0. So Boolean data type always represent the Boolean values. So Boolean values are true or false. True and false are being represented as 1 or 0. True for 1 and false for 0. Now, how to print the statements in the Python editor? How to use the print statements interrogatory with the subsequent manner. For printing the statement, we always use the word print. Then in the bracket, in the brackets also we can attach in this columns. We write the what we have to print. Suppose I have to print Python, so it will print the word Python. And again, suppose we need to print the hello world, so it will be printing hello world. In up to longest like wording you can write to print something in the Python. Okay. What if we have to join the two strings in that? Okay. And joining the strings in Python, we generally called it as a concatenation. Okay. Joining means like plus means joining, and for the like advanced naming, we use this as a concatenation. Okay. What it is? Concatenation. Like suppose I have one string in columns that is hello world, then again I want to join another string that is how are you. So these all are being joining to say me like hello world, how are you. Got it? This is the concatenation sign where I'm being joining true strings in that. Okay. Here I'm joining three strings. I am 20 years old and my friend is 21 years old. Here again first string, second string, third string, and this is the output. I am 20 years old and my friend is 21 years old. Now, how the sequence in Python is being generated, or how we can use as a sequential part in that. For using the sequential part in Python, we generally use to group the elements in single terms. And for joining that, like grouping that all the elements or all the items in the single part, that is we used to use 6 types of sequence, that is string, bytes, byte array, list, tuple, and range. For joining the string type data type, here we read like there are 6 types of sequence. Now let us know like what 6 types of sequence is that. Is it strings, bytes, byte array, list, tuple, and range? Let's shift to the string data type. So string data type is always used to get the higher range of the uses in Python. String are always being used highly in the Python, because whenever you are being using the any of the program, any of the structure, you are being using the string part. Okay, so string, just like practice more in string and get to more of the like what learning you can afford for the string, like get it for that. So for string, it has always been represented by the group of character. That means all the groups of character are being joined in single quotes or in double quotes. Okay, nothing is to be get without single or double quotes. It won't be executed. In Python, this is the most rarely part where we can use a triple quotes also to print the string in that. Okay, so printing like two double quotes or single quotes or triple quotes. Okay, it will be executing a program. But what if you are being using over here single quote in here the double quote, the program will not execute it, or vice versa, like single or double, the program will not execute it because it is always executed when we use a quotes in a pair. Suppose here is single, so here is also single. It is a pair of quotes. Again, here is a pair of double quotes. Again, here is a pair of triple quotes. Always being strings are always being executing until or unless they have a proper quotes, pair quotes in that. Now, what is bytes data type? Now, bytes data type is just a number. Okay, it is just a number and a positive integer from 0 to 255. It is used to store the numbers in the range from 0 to 255. If we exceed that, like suppose if we exceed it like 256, 257, 258, it cannot, like it doesn't have any memory in that, it will not execute it. The value or the list of the value we have to execute in this number of the range, that is 0 to 255. Okay, it can store the number only in this now range, nothing else. Here's a program to write a byte array, byte data type. So here's an like elements. I just published the elements in the list type. Okay, so this is the list. Lists are always being used in the square brackets, and the elements are 10, 20, 0, 40, 15. Now, if in the X region I have the bytes, like if the X region I have the bytes that converts a list into byte array, it is the conversion of list into byte array. Okay, so now I have to convert the list into byte arrays. So I have to write like in a bytes, the elements are, so I am not writing the elements completely 10, 20, 0, 40, 15. So I am just writing the variable it is being declared. So element will be samely get into the parenthesis to convert the list into byte array. And after that, I will print like from the X. Now from the X means this, and this will revert back to the bytes, and bytes will be revert back into the elements. Okay, now I want to print the X10. So in the list, we have the indexing and slicing. So here it will be executing a 10th value. In the list, we have the indexing and slicing starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and n minus 1 in the slicing. Okay, that's how we can do it. So in the like byte arrays, we can modify also, and we can edit any element also. Okay, that is a different method we can use for modifying or for printing or for editing the values it have. Moving forward, like what list data types are. Now we read about the bytes, just an information about in the complete region we are going to study in the further slides. But just to give you an introduction about what are a list, what are byte arrays, what are strings, just in it's a gist of it. So now what is list data type? So list in a Python are almost similar to the arrays in C. We all read the arrays in C at an sequential, at an pre-sequential, non-sequentials and everything. Okay. So arrays like for like putting the change in that, converting the change in the arrays, and after that modifying it, editing in the C, all that. So for the list, the main source of the list is that list can store unlimited part of different types of elements. Okay, like we can store in list in integer also. We can store like strings also. We can store the complex numbers also. Unlimited part of, like we can store any different types of elements in that. But what happen in arrays? We can only store one type of element. In list we can store unlimited part of our like elements, but in array we can store only one type of elements. Okay, so what happens when we store unlimited types or unlimited methods of elements in a like list. So in that, the memory allocations are also being the larger. So memory always raised to the dynamically in the largest manner, because we have string, because we have end, complex, and many more in that. So the that memory is like increasing as in departedly. Okay, we don't know how much memory it will be using up. But in what happens in the arrays, that the size is always fixed. Like in arrays, we write it a 10 and up to 10 values. That's it. We don't need any extra number of values in that. And it cannot grow at the runtime, but in list it can grow at the runtime also. In list, we always use the square brackets. For strings, we always use the double quotes and single quotes to presenting. In list, we can enter the negative integer, positive integer, negative float, then positive float, then up to so long of the memories and everything. Okay. Strings also with the single quotes, double quotes, triple quotes, any of it. Okay. That's how it is being presenting as a list data type. Now, moving forward to the explanation of more as in string, let's move further. Now, this is the complete explanation of string. Now, moving forward to the how to find the length of string, how to assess the individual character, and how to do the slicing, how to convert that lowercase, uppercase, title case, and swap case. Then it is find the subtitles, substrings in that. So it is more oftenly doing it. So I already told you, like it's like the string is in sequence of character. Like we can store variables or characters in that while using the single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes in that. So Python always uses a Unicode format to present the characters. Okay, for presenting the characters, it is always being used the Unicode format. For Unicode format, that means like you have an ASCII codes. Okay, so ASCII codes, you know about the ASCII codes, like it is being used for the Unicode purpose. Now, how to read it a string or how to print a string. For reading or printing a string, just write like I have to just write a program like print, enter your name, and here I give an input. Here I get an input. Like when it comes to enter your name, I want an input in that. Okay, so it will be printing that hi name. Let's learn about strings in Python. Here, when you'll be writing some input point, reading or printing some string, it means an input value. Okay. Now, how to assess an individual character or how to get that individual character in that? For using strings, like in the strings, we use the indexing. So indexing in the string varies to like ranges and used in that. So use the number of the decimal integers. Using the numbers of decimal integers, we will get the error in that, because we cannot do the indexing in the like decimal numbers in that. Okay, always being given to the individual characters. Now, when there is no separation or when there is no character type in that, indexing is always and always given to the produce strings of length 1. Now, if I have a program written as name is equals to Sikandar, then I have to print the name. So printing the name, it will giving to be the name of Sikandar. Now the type will appear. Okay. Now what happened? The type will be appearing of the name. So the type of this is string. Got it? Now again, if I need the print name and I did an indexing in that. So indexing 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At the 0th place, it is S. Okay, now of S, I want to know what is the type name. So again, it will be printing with a string. Now, how to do the slicing with Python link and the string? So to assess that substring or to assess some slicing in that, we always use the characters in that. For using the characters, we use the like what columns it is, what like how it is being separated, how it is being departed, or anything, just to get an n-1 also in the slicing in that. Suppose I need to print the Muhammad Sikandar and I wrote The name is 5. Okay. Now the first value, that is nothing. No, neither zero or empty value in that. And after that, when I'll be writing the 5, so 5 is given to me like up to fifth character, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the fifth value, it is written at me the Mohamm. Again, in the string, including the first 5 characters in that, I have to write the name, but it will be only be giving me the fifth character and up to so on. That how the third and the eighth character is being generalized. Now, what is string concatenation? I already told you that string concatenation is that joining the strings, like 2 strings, 3 strings, or up to so like unlimited. We use this concatenation as the plus operator. By using the plus operator, we used to join the string. Like suppose there is a program. First name is equal to Muhammad. Last name it is the Sikandar. Okay. Now I have to print the value of full name. So writing the full name, I'll be writing the first name, that is Muhammad, last name, that is Sikandar. Okay. Muhammad plus Sikandar. That will be printing me the value of full name, that is Muhammad Sikandar in that. Okay. Here first name represent Muhammad, second to the Sikandar. Okay. Again, another example in that we are writing. It is the word hello, echo, word. Now it is a repetition. Okay. Now word hello and echo hello word is a repetition. So if I have to print only echo, that is also 3 times. So it will be giving me word, word, word. Okay. This is the asterisk sign that is used to repeat the string, the given numbers. Number of times we will writing the number of time it will be appearing in this, like in this, it will not be having any of the space in that. Okay, like it is the echo, and echo I have to print it 3 times, and that is the word, word, word. Okay. Now what is iteration through string? Just remember the word iteration or iterating, that is repeating. Okay, that is repeating in that, using for loop, or we can iterate through a string, or we can get through like unlimited time of the looping. Okay, so suppose if I have to just start to the word cranes. Okay, now if I have to get the C, for C, only for C, that just remember for the C and word means this, C is this, and after that for C in a word it will print only C in that, the word it is being obtaining in that. Okay, now these are the string methods where we're gonna use the string methods as in formalized part as a subtitle, and these all string methods are being helpful to like uh, shortening the program just with just a string method. Suppose I have string lower, string upper, swap case, title, and capitalize. So what lower means, like it will convert all the characters to the lower case. Okay. Upper means it will convert all the characters to uppercase. Like suppose it is small also, so it will be converting all the characters to uppercase. Okay. And if it's only already uppercase, it will not touch it. It will just print the uppercase only. Swap case means if it's uppercase, it will convert to lowercase. So it is lowercase, it will convert to uppercase. Okay. Then it comes to a title. So title means like each word is being changed to the uppercase and other to lowercase. Suppose if first car of each word is changed to uppercase and others to lowercase. I have a word written as an, this is the word I wrote, string. Okay, and I write the title. If it's upper is S capital, okay, it will change to lowercase. Okay, if it's smaller, it will change to the uppercase. That's how it is being written as. And now comes to capitalize. Like first char of the string is changed to upper, others to lower. Same as the title, but the first char of each string. Okay, like I wrote the string method, and these are the smaller. So it will be changing to S capital and capital if it's small. Okay, so add the string method s2. Title means for each word. Capitalize means for each string. Now, what is list in Python? So, moving forward to the list in Python, it is a collection of as many values in a single variable, or it is a collection to a very in a square brackets we use a list, and for like kind of collection also we can use. Suppose you are living in a house. Okay, so living in a house, suppose you have a room of your own and it is empty now. Now you have to fill your room with lot of material, like material in a sense you use a bed, then it's wardrobe, TV, Elmira, then it's study table, then bookshelf, and everything. This all the namings, whatever you have been filling in your room, it is your list. That means that it is the element of your room, and list means that all the compilation of your elements, all the compilation of your room is being done with the help of the list. And the square brackets is just a room. Whatever thing is you placed in your room, that is elements. Okay, all the elements, all the collection you have put in your single variable, these are the all the packages of your element. Okay, so what is not to be collection or what is to be collection? For mostly like for our variables, we only used to have one value in that, but in list we can have unlimited amount of elements in that, and we can also have like a number of data types of value in that list. Then it is like int, float, char, and then it is complex, unlimited type of. It is not like needed to get that variable only of the single return. And the or in list there is one benefit that it can be like overwritten also. We can change it. Now here is a program writing a list. So here is Apple Computer by written to the, this is the GCC editor using that on the Apple computer, and here is a program written like x is equals to 2 and x is equals to 4. Now just tell me like print x is equals to 4, it happens. Now x is equals to 2 and x is equals to 4, the value will be executed by the number of elements it has. No, the further it has been executed. Now for the list constraint, it is always being used for the square brackets, and list can be empty. Okay, don't think like list cannot be empty in that, because it have the value, it doesn't have the value. It like looks all the together. Okay, so that is not like if we are being using the list or if we are being selling that list or not. Now what happens in the list, like just like the strings, we can get any of the element in that, but in the list using an index specified in a square bracket, that is defined as a sequential part. Okay, that is not proper individual characters in that. So main point to remember about the list is that it is the mutable. Okay, so lists are mutable, strings are immutable. Immutable means we cannot change the contents of the string, but in list we can change it. It is mutable. Okay, we can make a new string also, we can change the new string also, but list are mutable. We can change the element of any of the list using the index operators or being the structures. Suppose here is a fruit, that is banana. Okay, so if I have to print that at what place the 0 is being indexed, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. At the 0th place, it is B. Okay, so now if I have to get that all the structure in the lower field of the print X, that will be like, suppose I wrote the string methods or the list methods like fruit dot lower and parenthesis circular brackets. Print X will be giving me banana with a small b. Okay, that means it will be lowering my first word. Got my point? This is how we use the like type methods. Now, list can be as lengthier as it can. Okay, how we can judge out like how many words there are, or how many structures there are, or how many parameters there are. These all are being judged out by the function known as LEL parenthesis. Okay. The length of the element always returns the number of element in the list. Suppose in this, that is greet is equals to hello Bob. Okay. Now I want to print the length. So if I have to print the length of my that list or that string, just I have to write print the length of greet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 is the space. So 9 number will be appearing in like how we used to print the length in that. Okay. Now if I print like what is the length of this string? So it is 4. One integer, second integers, third string, fourth of integer. Okay. That how you can judge out what like how to print the length of our string or length of our list in that. Now, if we use a range functions in that, for range functions are always being used to return list the number of list we have been chased upon, or we can like range from zeros to up to so many of the length as in parameters. Okay, we can construct an index loop also, but in the index loop we have to use an iterator. That means that it is to be used as a repetition part. Okay, if I have to use a repetition part, it depends, because it as actually depends upon the function we use or the function it is being defined upon. Now concatenation is same as a list also. Like in concatenation, it means like joining the strings or joining some elements. In the list also we can create a new list by adding two existing lists together. Okay, that is almost same to that. Here's an example of concatenation list using plus, that is a is equals to 1 2 3, b is equals to 4 5 6. If I again write a program c is equals to a plus b, that is known as print c, and it will be joining these two lists 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, then it will be giving me a print of a. Like if I need a print of a, this is the list of it, a1 2 3. A list can be sliced. Okay, just like the strings we can slice upon, lists are also being sliced in. So slicing, it is defined as the proper elements are being aparted to a given number in that. Okay, so given number in that, it is always been defined. Now here has been program used, the list been created, that is t is equals to 9, 41, 12, 3, 74, and 15. Okay, here t is given as 0. I am just writing 1 comma 3, it's colons 3. Now where it will be giving me a value starting from here, 9 is equals to 0, 41 1, 12 2, 3 4, 74 5, 15 6. Okay, now I need a value of 1, so it will be giving me 9 and 41, that is 41 is at the place of 1, so output is 1. It's 41. Now 3, 0 1 2 3. So up to 3 the value is 3, but in slicing there is n minus 1 also. Okay, like it will be giving to the like previous value of the deducting 1. So the previous value is 12. Okay, so it is the output of 12. 1 colon 3, it is 41 and 12 output. Okay, now again, if I haven't wrote anything in my first list element and I'm being printing the up to fourth element, it means it will be giving me the value up to fourth. Whatever elements that includes as the 0, 1, 2, 3 section, it will be printing me that. So it is giving me like 0, 9, 41, 12, 3, and 74 as the position, but it is n minus 1. And up to 3, it is giving me the value of it. Now, what are the methods? Like what this list methods are there? In the list method, we can append, we can count, we can extend, index also, insert, pop, remove, reverse, and sort. These all other like type methods we can use in the list for considering out how the programs are being listed at the upcoming form. Just like the string, we use the capitalize, title, swap, uppercase, lowercase, just like that. In the list, we can append, we can count, we can extend, we can index, insert, pop, remove, and reverse. Everything we can do in that. But forwarding, that how we can build a list, or how the searching of list is being appeared, that all depends upon the order sequence. Now, what is order sequence in the list? Order sequence in the list means like it has an item, or like it can keep all those items in the proper order structure until or unless we can change it, or until or unless we can overwrite it. Okay, overwriting them is not a structural part. Overwriting is always being done in the formatting. A list can always be sorted, a list can always be changed, a list can always be overwritten, a list can always be sort with a method, just like, or just like the dictionaries in that. In strings, sort method is just mean like we can be doing in the particular section. Okay, list can hold up to lot of elements and up to lot of data types in that. In similarly, like it's a friends are being known as the Joseph, Glenn, and Sally. These all are strings. Now, if I have to sort this list, so sorting this list, it means like it will be sorting up to the value in that, or the alphabet in that. G, J, and S. Okay. Now, what if I print my list as an indexing? It's 1. 0 is at Glenn, Joseph at 1, and 2 at Sally. So for printing only 1 in the brackets of the square bracket, it will be giving to me the Joseph in that. Now comes what are the built-in function and what are the list in that proper integrating the built-in. Okay. So the parameters we use in the Python, or for the loops we use to build the list, is all are being considerable to the maximum or to the minimum or to the sum of it. Okay, there is the problem where you will face the how to split a break in string, or how to split a list in that, or how to split both of it by the concatenation or by the repetition of that. Okay, repetition and iterating, both are the looping, how the looping is being judgmental. Okay, I hope it's been clear to you all.
Yes, Anshika.
If my voice is audible, sir.
Yes, Anshika. Please continue. No problem.
Okay. So moving forward to the what are the tuples in Python. For moving like tuples in Python, these are always being configured out as in similar to list, but except to list, they're immutable unless we know like lists are mutable. But in tuples, that is immutable. That means we cannot change the tuples when we use that. But the main benefit of using tuple is like if you are being using any parentheses in that, like square parentheses or any, you don't have to use like parentheses, or for the execution you're using the parentheses or anything. Okay, you can execute your program without parentheses also. Okay, that is not a compulsion like parentheses you are being using, and that has been a compensation for you, like it will be executing your program to that. No, you can use without like parentheses also in tuples. That is the main benefit of that. So what is the advantage of like tuples over list? How the tuples are being different to list, and how they are being generalized to that? Okay, tuples are heterogeneous. That is, it has a different type data types. And the lists are homogeneous. It means a similar data type with a structural part. Like we have the int, we have the float, we have the complex string in that. That means having some of the data types, but that are similar to the list only. Okay. Tuples are immutable and lists are mutable. And tuples, that is iterating through the tuple, is faster than the list, and the performance is also higher than in tuples rather than list. Okay. While using the tuple as an immutable elements, or like in the dictionaries, we have two of the categorization, that is key and value. And without key and value, dictionaries never execute in that. Okay. But what happens in the tuples? It contains the immutable elements. That is true as in structural part. Okay. But what happens sometimes in the tuples? We don't have a proper aging. Okay. For proper aging, we always used to know about whether it is being observable or not. But in list, we don't need it. We can extend it, we can delete it, we can append it, we can remove it, we can like add number of lists in that by using concatenation and everything. But what happens in the list, we cannot change it. Okay, whatever list we have written, we cannot change it, or we cannot give any guarantee to change it also. Okay, whereas the list we can append it. Moving forward, how to create a tuple. For creating a tuple, it has always been used as a placing some of the elements inside a parenthesis separated by, like suppose we have been using the commas. So commas, we have been using that. It is also been configurable. Okay, separated by commas, the parentheses are always are being optional, but we can use it to like present a good terms in that, or like good piece of code in that. Tuples are always being placed in the elements inside the square. It's a circular parenthesis, always separated by the commas in that. Okay. In tuples, we can have a number of elements, that is different types, that is integer, float, list, string, and many more. So creating a tuple, it is being written about. Suppose I have like gave a tuple, and inside this element is there, and there's none of the element has been presented. If I print my tuple, that is, it will only and only executing this brackets, nothing else. Again, if I present my tuple is equals to 1 in the circular parenthesis, 1, 2, 3, and again I print my this tuple, it will be giving me the elements 1, 2, and 3. Moving forward with tuples with a mixed data type, that is 1, hello, 3.4, that is 1 is integer, hello is string, 3.4 is float. It will be giving me the sum of the values, all the values of my tuple. Nested tuples is just like we have been given a nested loop, nested string, list, and like the single list, then it's a single string, then it comes to single list, then it's just a number of string. Okay, again it will be giving me the same output of printing these off. Okay, similarly the tuples are just representing, like we can use the tuples without parenthesis also, that is being written about, like without parenthesis we can use that. And after that, if you don't use the parentheses, that is also not a problematic to your code itself. Okay, moving forward, like how to create a tuple now. Creating a tuple, it's a very trickiest part, and like having a one element with a parenthesis is not enough of it. Like we have to get the commas in between to separate the elements. Okay, so for separating the element, that is being defining part, only and only parentheses are not required. Just we need to get that on the commas part also at the end, just to separate the number of elements. Now here is being given as a parenthesis hello. If I have to print the type, that is the type of my tuple, that will give me string. Okay, again if I write the my tuple is equals to hello, but if I presented here the comma and I print like my tuple type, so it will be giving me that is tuple only. Okay, the type of this my tuple is tuple. Again, if I write my hello without parenthesis, it will again give me the value tuple. Okay, I hope it's been clear to you, everyone. So this is all about the tuples, and moving forward about this is not structural. Hello. Okay. So for assessing the elements in tuple, it is being recognized as, like, suppose we read about the creating a tuple, that is we can use without parentheses also and the with parentheses also. Just a second, I forgot to share it. So for creating a tuple, or for like we use the creating a tuple, we can use the assessing it. Now moving forward to assessing elements in a tuple, we know, like, for assessing we need a number of nested tuples in that. For indexing, okay, the values of tuples are always being used up to the like with the indexing part, and that is to the indexing is being generalized. So for indexing, the nested tuples are being used. That means the nested indexing is being done. And then next, negative indexing we cannot apply. Like we can apply in the tuples, just not like to the list. Like negative indexing also we have a lot of problems in the list as a negative slicing or indexing. But we can assess a range of elements in the tuples by using slicing operators. Operators in the sense, suppose we need a subconscious part of the tuple, it is being divided as in subquentions. Moving forward to a time like for attaining or more designing values of tuples, but it will give us a type error. Okay, now here's a program. Here is a program written as in marks is equals to 23, 45, and 32. And it's just the simplest part. So, like I have to print now the mark up to the 0th level. So 0th, it is 23, 1, 45, 32, it's 2. So at the 0th place, it is 23. Again, if I have to get to the 2, so at second position, it is 0, 1, 2. Or the 2 is 32. Again, in the nested tuples, what it happens in the nested tuples, if I am writing like a variable name as an Sikandar, or tuple name as a Sikandar 846, that is the list, then it is 1, 2, 3. Again, if I have to structural that all the thing or the print the tuples at the 0th place, the tuple is Sikandar. It will not execute at Sikander as a word by word. It will be taking the whole string in that. Again, if I have to print the 1 as in, like in my n tuple, I have to get the print in its part, first part, that will be 8, 4, and 6. If now see the what is the positional change of the tuples while we executed. The positional change in the tuples, that is print 0th 0th. So now at the 0th place, what it is okay, at the 0th and places the null value also in that, that is the s. Again, if I move to the nth level of first in 0, so first and 0 means, like, this is the list of the first at the 0th place, that is 8. Okay, in that 0 means this is 0 is the second, the first 0 is second, second 0 is s. Okay, so it will be executing as the place of s. Now for like list, that is 1 0 at the place of 1, that is at the 0th place, it is 8. Okay, here the problem occurs when we use to nested tuple. Most of the students while writing the program is a lot of problem while executing it, because you have to remember that it is not for the word. When it is for the word, it will be having a like another indexing in that. Now how to change a tuple? While changing the tuple, like we know, like tuples are immutable. Okay, this means like the tuple cannot be changed once it has been assigned. But for like if the element itself is a mutable data type, like list or its own changes in that, it always been given to the multiple data types. Okay, Now, if I'm giving the multiple data type or multiple structure, it is being recognized as the first part. It will not be giving me as a singlest part or the word by word part. It is always been giving me the mutable data types as a compound data type. Okay. Similarly to string, similarly to the list, concatenation is there, repetition is there. For concatenation, we use plus operator. For repetition, we use asterisk sign. Okay. Now for repetition and the concatenation, both are being used. So suppose if I have to get the most of the elements in that 1, 2, 3 plus 4, 5, 6, this is all a tuple ranging. If I have to print these all, it will be giving me as a single formula, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I have to get the repetition of 3, I have not wrote here any of the program, any of the list. I just wrote here as I need a repetition of the repeat, and it will be giving me repeat, repeat, and repeat up to 3 levels because it's a tuple. It will be separating to the commas. Okay. Now, how to delete a tuple? For deleting a tuple, it always can change the tuple, but just like the list and string, we cannot change any tuple. That means that like we have to use any of the operator, or we can use the keywords in that. Okay, for using, like, we have to delete some of the tuples. So it is being giving me that the program is, so it is being giving me the del operator. If I have to get the del operator as a keyword, that is 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it will giving me the error like tuple does not have any support item for the deletion. It can delete the entire tuple, or it cannot delete any of the tuple. Okay, now what are the tuple methods? Just like the string type methods, tuple also have the methods. Like method means that we can add, remove elements that are not available with tuple. Okay, just like that, we have the two type methods in tuple, that is count, and another one is index. For count, that means that we can return the value of number of items that is equally aparted as the x, and index means like we can return the index value as the first item, that is the repetition, or like we can addition of the tuples at the sequence returning index. So tuple membership test, it's just like that we can have the existing part of tuple, or we can use a keyword to exist that. Just like the Boolean expression, true or false, true means 1, false means 0. If a program executed, it will be giving us a true value. If the program doesn't executed, it will give us the false value. For printing a true value, here is a program written as a my tuple, and every keyword is being associated in that apple. APPLE. Okay, and further it's also a comma in that. That means it's a tuple. Now, if I have to print the value of A in my tuple, is my A is presented in apple word? Yeah, it is presented. So it will execute a true. If the B is in my tuple, no, it is not. So it will be giving me the false. Print if the G is not in my tuple. Yeah, it is not there. G is not there, and it is not in my tuple. Here you can see the difference in and not in. Okay, not G is already not in the tuple, so it will print the true because it always said that the program itself said that it is not in my tuple. It's true that it is not in my tuple. Now iterating through the tuple, that means like repetition of tuple. And whenever it's been repetition, we always use the loops in that. Suppose here a loop that is name, Sikandar, Sharath, John, and Kate. Now I have to print that the names in my name. For printing the name in my names, that is Sikandar, Sharath, John, and Kate. The hello will be among all the distributing, and the name will appearing as a singling. That is hello Sikandar, hello Sharath, hello John, hello Kate. Okay, that is not being represented only to the single hello Sikandar. That is mean like it will execute as multiple times as the elements are. Okay, how many elements are, that will be given to the as an printing structure of the looping. So what are the built-in function with tuples? So there are a lot of built-in function in tuples, that is alt, then any enumerate, checking the length, max, min, sorted, sum, and tuple. So all means it will return all the value if the element of the all the tuples are being true. Any means return true if the elements of the tuple is true, or it will return to the false execution if the tuple is being empty. Enumerate means like it will index each and every value of the tuple in pairs. Length to know up to how much length the number of elements are there presented. Max the largest item of the tuple. Min the smallest item in tuple. Sorted it means like it will take an element in tuple and it will return now is sorted elements in that or the list in that to get that it doesn't support it at all. Some it will be giving the return value. The converting all the iterable values such as list, string, then it is dictionaries and everything. It is being involved in tuple. Okay. Now, what happens in the Python dictionaries or how it is being done? So Python dictionaries, these are all mutable, and any of the container we have to store that. It's just a number of Python objects in that. Okay, and dictionaries always been consist in pairs. That is type and values, keys and values. Always and always, whenever the dictionaries are being executed, these are always and always giving us the value and the key. Okay, the syntax writing for dictionary is dix is equals to a, and it is being separated by these the colon. Okay, single colon, and a is a key, 215 is a value. Again, b is a key, 412 is a value. C is a key and 125 is a key. This is a proper syntax to write a dictionary. Okay, in dictionary we always consist of a pair of items, a pair of keys in that. In corresponding, we have the value in that. Suppose name. Name is equals to whatever it is, like it's Sonia or any of it. B age of age 25, 30, then address of ABC. Okay, every time each of the keys are being having their values in that. Okay. Now, what are the important points to remember in dictionary? These are the 4 points to remember in the dictionary. Points means like each key has an is being separated by the value of colon. Okay, each item are being written in the curly braces. Each items are being separated by colons, and each item are being enclosed in the curly braces. Third, each of the empty dictionary without any element is written in just two curly braces. That is this part only. And whatever the elements are there or without any elements, it's just like the curly brackets you have to bring presented over there. For writing any of the value, for writing any of the dictionary values in that, these can be up to any of the type, but forward link to the keys must also only and only will be mutable data type, not other than that. Data type just like strings, number, and tuples. I hope it's been clear to you up to dictionary part. Let's move forward to the NumPy. moving forward to the NumPy, what is NumPy and how NumPy are being defined. So NumPy is an like the library for the Python programming language, and it is being generalized with the Python, adding a lot of supportive or adding a lot of large and multiple dimensional arrays in NumPy. It is always being the collection of high level of mathematics in NumPy, because NumPy is not as such a slowest or the lowest like packages or being that. It is a computational power of languages like C, Fortran or Python in that. So it is always being judgeable, or it is always being given to the NumPy structure. Now under the configurations of the NumPy, so NumPy is being defined and being categorized as a two classification, that is structured and unstructured. So structure, it has been always been defined, or it has always been formatting to the set substructure, and these are the always being placed in the data storage, and wherever we used to write a proper alphabets in that, these are always being written in the proper like queries, then it's being written in the fields, like then it's a relational parts and the structural parts, then no, it's a collaborations and the groups part. Okay, the example of the structural data types is very simple. That is the relational database that has an that always has been formatted into the precisely defined fields. Okay, that is how it is being given as the SQL part as the queries. So now, what are the pros of the structural data types? There are three types pros of the structural data types. That is easily used for the machine learning algorithm. Then another one easily used for business user. Then third is easily being increased or assessed to more of the tools in that. Okay, so that is not defined in that. So what is the cons and what is the pros? These are being all similar to that. And for using the cons, these are the always been predefined purpose limited use. Then always been limited to its flexibility or the use cases. And third is that like we can be using as the limited storage option. And fourth one is it is immigrated, or it is being used as the cloud-based warehouses. Okay, then they're never allowed to get the greater scalability, or the eliminates for the maintenance like cost in that. It is always like equipment are always been premises in nature. Okay, that is how the cons of the structural data type it is. So what is unstructured data? So unstructured data is just in like we just to remember in the structure, the data storage has been like in the non-formative type, and in structural we have a native format. Okay, so native format, that means like it can be processed also until it is being used, or it can be used as the relational parts also. Okay, what comes as unstructured data? That is like we can come for the format, or we can include in emails, social media, post, representation, or any of that sequential part. Okay. Now, what are the process? Like how we can process the data, how we can process like what is the processing cycle of the data? So for the processing cycle of the data, it has always been recognized. For the processing, we need input, we need processing, we need output of that, and the storage. These all are the interconnected functions in for data processing cycles. Okay. Now, what we have to like, if we have to process the data and convert all the information in that, or all the structures in that, that are always been given to begin some input stage. Okay, and always been end to the output stage of it. Now, here's a flow chart of that: input, processing, and output. Input means it will be getting the data. Processing, it will execute what program it is, and it will be forwarding to the output. Okay, forwarding to the output, it always been known as the linear data processing. Okay, for just the two processing are being done in the input and output. That is the pre-processing, and that is the past processing. Now, what is the input stage? Here we read about what is the input stage of the processing data. So data never able to get to contain any of the information until or unless user has been provided, or it has always been fed to the data type system to convert it into meaningful or the minimal information. In data type, we have contained like 5 of the activities in that. That is a data collection, data capture, encoding, data transmission, and data communication. These are the 5 input stages. We have to get that through the activities to get an input stage of the pre-processed or the linear data processing process. Okay, one if we get the close to the data collection, so closing to the data collections, we have to get through the more of the environment or to prepare the input of that, and the document is always and always been recognized as the source code of that. Whenever you have been working in some editor, you are looking forward that the editor are being used for getting your the output of it. Okay, you have been providing some input and that is being giving some output of that. How it has been giving the output? It has some environment, it has some pre-scheduled structure in that to get that pre-recorded source code. Okay, that is what the source code is being known as. The data which is recorded when it has been collected, that is known as being the source code. Now data capture, it means like the data is already being processing, or isn't being the processing when it entered the collected data. It is already being in the processing system, while we are being running our code as a source code or an digital code, any of that data has been like we have gave the data and it has been stored in that. Now what is data transmission? Actually, uh, the word transmission means uh, the lane of the data has been like given to someone else. Okay, the plane of data has been lined up. So in that data input is being sent to the processor, and after that, that processor takes that all the data to various components. Okay, so after that, data has been processed or that has been taken, also, the carrying data from the processors are being taken to the further transmission, that is to the output devices. Suppose I have given the input to my, I have connected my mouse to my CPU. Suppose it's not a data or anything. So now, by whatever the function I'll be operating over here, or from my hands to the mouse, it will obviously going to the computer and being recognized that what output should be. Okay, now it comes to the processing stage. There is the input stage, processing stage, and output stage. On the processing stage, there are 3 things that happen. The raw data is being converted into some minimal information or the meaningful information. Then the computer, like all the instructions are being given to the computer, are being performed by itself, and that is being known as the programs to the process data. Okay, and after that, when it everything has been done with the program, it will include the operating system, it will get the word processor, spreadsheets, and the word processor in that. Okay, now finally comes the output stage. What is the output stage? In the input stage, we provide some raw data. Now the output stage will give us the processed data. Okay, the processed data means the data has been fully compiled and it has a proper meaningful data. Okay, so it is now presented to more often to the output devices that has been used in the output devices. And after like if I have viewed that output and I feel like it is being understandable to me, or it is giving some meaningful decisions, or on the basis of understanding, it means like it is actually in data that is being decoded, which was raw and everything, and then it is being generalized. Okay, that is how the data is being configured. Now the storage stage means like after output, that is storage stage. For the storage stage, that is that the information where the memory allocations are being there, and where the information is stored. Okay, so where the information is stored is that just like the proper advantage of that. Okay, this is just an information about what actually the how the data has been processed in the NumPys or anything. It is just a flow chart of the data processing cycles. That is input, then again processing, then again output, then again where the program is being stored, then data collection. The data collection is furtherly I have to collect the data. Okay, suppose I'm building my home. Then I am when I'm being building my home, I need concrete, I need cement, I need then iron rods and everything. After that, only I'll be sending that data, like that material to some of the input or processing, and after output I'll be getting my home. Okay, that home has been stored. That means that as at some place, that my house has been located at some place. That is what the storage is. I hope it's been clear. The cycle has been clear to you. So that's it for now.
Hey, glad Anshika, nice job. So probably now all the members would have understood what are the benefits of having NumPy, how we can use that in a machine learning, and what all are important. Probably we started with data types, then we learned about the different aspects of the how we can use data types in NumPy, and now we are probably going to explore further in NumPy and see how it helps us probably explore further in our first thing is exploratory data analysis. Next, how it is helpful in machine learning as well. Probably in our next
Yeah.
sessions, we'll dive deeper and understand the impact of using NumPy in machine learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let me quickly take a pause. If there's any questions, we'll be happy to take now.
Yeah, sure. Any doubt to anyone?
Okay, I take it as a no. Probably, let's continue our next session tomorrow, probably at the same time. Right,
Okay.
Ashika?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Ashika. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
everyone, for
you.
joining
Bye.
it.